Hello everybody, welcome back again on my channel. This is the Master Teacher Serene. Today we're going to talk about the disadvantages and advantages of different market strategies. The question that we're going to ask ourselves is to know, why would somebody prefer or choose to enter a new market via joint venture instead of strategic alliance, or greenfield development instead of acquisition, or direct exporting or indirect exporting? This is what we're going to answer in this video. Well, let's start off with direct exporting versus indirect exporting. Direct exporting is pretty much a company having goods, product or service to sell in a different country. They'll put it in a ship and then export it to that country. So the problem is that in direct exporting, for example, maybe the only risk that might happen is maybe your goods to sink in, and yeah, you might lose your goods because we never know, your goods might not reach the destination. The other thing that might happen is that let's say you don't have a corporate partner. A corporate partner is like, let's say when your goods arrive in a foreign country and you do not have anybody there that can sell the product for you, that already has a customer base. That would be a problem, because at some point you might have the goods but you might not know how to sell them, right? And you might, let's say most people, what they do is that let's say you are an individual and you have a family in let's say Africa, certain country, maybe Congo, and you live in Japan or France or China. You buy the product, send that product to your friend or family member in Congo, and the family member is your corporate partner. The corporate partner helps you to sell the product because you already have, I mean, the corporate partner, your friend back home, already has customer base, a list of customers that she sells. Most people post online, they've been selling that, so that's called a corporate partner, right? So if you are doing direct exporting as a market entry strategy, let's say the problem that you might have is if you don't have a corporate partner, then you might not have a customer base, and by the time you send your product to a foreign country, you might have a warehouse, but you never know how much product you need to send there and how many of them will be sold, because as you might notice, you don't have any sales team there that can deal with that. So that's one thing. And also, let's say you don't have like an export agent. So first of all, it might be a little bit tricky for you to, like, an export agent is pretty much some people that helps you to shift your product, to send your product from your country of origin to the foreign country where you want your product to be sold. And if you don't have an export agent, that also might be a little bit of a problem for you in terms of profit. You might not make enough, and that's one of the disadvantages that I would say about direct exporting. Now let's talk about indirect exporting. Indirect exporting is pretty much similar to direct exporting, but at this point you use an intermediary to send your product to the foreign market, to the foreign country. Let's say you don't have any relationship to the export agent or the customer that is going to bring your company to the different foreign market, to the different market, to the new market. Let's say you are a company here in Japan or China or whatever you are, and then a foreigner comes in Japan and notices that you have a very good product, or the price is lower here, so he buys from you and you don't even know where the products will go or what they're going to do with the product next, you know. So that customer, without telling you anything, they might buy it here at low price, and then they take it to their country and then they go and sell it at maybe a higher price, and that's indirect exporting. The problem that I think that might happen here is that, first of all, you don't have any control over how much profit the people that are buying from you, the customers that are buying for you, or the agent, the export agent is control over the price that they're going to put on for their profit, and you don't get anything out of it. Second of all, I believe only small businesses that would use that as a strategy to get into a new market, because basically you want to impact, you want to make profit. If it's one person, one individual person that is doing that, the person that will make profit is that specific agent, agent thingy, but not you, because first of all, you don't have any direct relationship with that export agent. So that's pretty much what might happen. First of all, you might not have enough profit, and it's basically made for small businesses, small, medium-sized businesses. All right, so let's go on with franchising and licensing. Franchising is pretty much a company, a franchisor, giving a franchisee the license to do the same thing they are doing, for that franchisor to expand in whatever foreign country they want to expand it to, and that franchisee will be kind of their branch. So let's say, for example, McDonald's. You see, McDonald's is a US-based company, but they are everywhere. So what happens is, like, some people, the franchisee, they go on and sign a contract with the franchisor for them to be able to also sell burgers. But the problem with that contract is that contract will be kind of, the control, first of all, will be coming up from the franchisor. The franchisor will set up how much burgers you can sell a day, everything that you would do, how much money, how the hours of work, how the marketing system, at least the marketing and all that kind of thing. It's a plus for you because everything is made. It's easier for you to enter a new market with a franchise, with franchising, because the franchisor already has a market. A business plan, a marketing strategy for you. Everything is already set up. But in terms of control, you might not make that much profit as a franchisee, because everything you do is controlled by the franchisor. And so that is one thing. There is no control from the franchisee, but the franchisor controls everything. And in terms of profit too, you will not make much profit, because everything you do is controlled by the franchisor. So the other alternative to that is licensing. Licensing gives you much more control, and both of them, franchising and licensing, you will be paying some royalty, which is some money that you pay through the franchisor because you are using their service or product. But at least when you use licensing as a market entry method, you have more control. That means maybe you can change the menu. Let's say, for example, for McDonald's, you can decide to have your own menu. You can decide to sell the products at your own kind of pace. You can decide to maybe do your different kind. Instead of just burgers, you can come out with a whole restaurant. So you can do whatever you want to do. There's more control over that. Licensing is better than franchising in terms of control, but in terms of cost, it might be more expensive to buy a license from a company than to buy a license from a franchising, like from a franchise, something like that, to buy a franchise. So let's go on with the next market entry strategies. Let's say acquisition and greenfield development. Acquisition is when you are kind of already rich and you decide to, instead of, you want to move to America, but you don't have a business there, you don't have any partners there or anything of a kind. And so what you might think of is to go on and buy the whole thing. You buy a new company and you settle down. The problems that might happen with acquisition when you acquire a new business is that you might not be familiar with the market research there, or the market environment, the business environment, because business is not just about selling and having a product, buying and selling. It's not just buying and selling. You have to study the customer behaviors. You have to study the government regulations and all that. So sometimes you might not be really aware of if that business is that worth it. Maybe by the time you own the business, you might notice that it's not that worth it. And not only that, let's say you have a business in your country. Let's say I'm in Japan, I have a business here and I want to branch out, so I'll buy a new business in America. But the thing is, for you to integrate what you already have here and what you have in America, like what you've bought in America, it might be a little bit challenging. So these are some of the things that could be a little bit complicated. And not only that, you might be like you might realize that at the end of the day, maybe let's say it's like let's say you marry a virgin, right? You marry a virgin, and by the end of the day, because they told you not to get into certain things before, like not to discover her before marriage, by the time you get married, you've already married her. By the time you come in and to explore, you discover that her Jerusalem has been already explored, all the people that have already passed there, and at some point you might be deceived, and the value that you thought you bought or you thought you married, it would not be the same anymore. So at some point it might be tedious to really know the value of a business when you acquire a new business if you didn't set it up. That's why we're going to go straight into greenfield development. Greenfield development, unlike acquisition, you start from the scratch, from afresh. You start afresh, you get all the resources, you buy the land, you build the business, you do the market research, you come on into like you come into the management team, everything all from scratch. You start a whole business as greenfield development. The advantages I think is that you have more control, and at some point maybe you might have to be more patient too, because starting afresh, you might have to build a customer base, and it might take much more longer for you to start to make like real profit out of it, and also it might cost you a lot more money compared to acquisition, because acquisition, you already buy something that already exists, and at some point there could be a little discount. It's like something that is already that has been used might cost you cheaper than something that is is brand new. So it might be much more costly. So that means you might have to be rich. And that's part of the thing. So the other thing that I will say about greenfield development is that maybe it's only made for rich people, right? Because for you to go and start afresh, let's say you want to start a tomato factory, ketchup maybe, transforming tomato into ketchup. So you're going to go into that country, buy a land, do this and do that. So it might be a little bit tricky. It might not be that easy. And sometimes you might have to study the regulations of that country, because some countries don't accept foreigners to come and own businesses, start businesses, buy land. So you might get into trouble before to get that done. It's not that easy. Let's move on with the last market entry strategies. Let's talk about what didn't we touch yet? Let's talk about joint venture and strategic alliance. Well, joint venture is pretty much like let's say you are dating boyfriends and girlfriends, sort of stuff, and you kind of come into an agreement to date, that we are into some sort of situationship, but it's not really defined, right? So it's just sort of an acquaintances that has some sort of entanglement. But then at this point, joint venture could be tricky, because let's say you are here in Japan and your partner is living in a different country. You see, distance relationship never work, because there's a lot of cheating in there. And let's say you're making more money here, the market is different. You're making more money here and the other one is not making that much money. But the thing is, like, it's supposed to be like 50-50, right? The good thing with joint venture is that the commitment is stronger, like marriage at this point. So you have a contract base, and the marriage is there. It's like the next level of dating boyfriend and girlfriend. So joint venture is more like a marriage thingy. So at this point, because you all don't live in the same country, it's 1 + 1 is equal to 1, but still you are all different people. So you're living in this situation, the person living in the other situation. So let's say you're making more money and I'm making less money than you in America, but we are partners. We agreed to pay to share 50-50. Because joint venture, there is commitment in there, and there is shared responsibilities. So, but the thing is that I noticed that, okay, I'm making like 80% of the money and you make 20%, and you want me to share 50-50 with you. Maybe that wouldn't make sense to me. So I must start to cheat on you, not really give you the overall revenue, or trying to do some stuff that maybe take some sort of part-time kind of customers that I will not register, so that you will not get track on them. So basically, there can be some cheating. Same thing with strategic alliance. Strategic alliance is the level right before the joint venture. So strategic alliance is pretty much like you start with a corporation, like a boyfriend girlfriend dating, and no marriage, no paper-based kind of 50-50 kind of agreement. It's more like if it works on your side. If it doesn't work, doesn't work. Whenever we meet, we can hook up, but nothing is really going on, you know. So basically, strategic alliance can work at some point, but still the same problems, because there is nothing that shows that we are really like going to die together, right? So at this point, a lot of cheating can also happen, and there is no, like, unlike the joint venture, there's no commitment to the next level. Yeah. So having heard about all these strategies and the market entry, what do you think is the best market entry strategy to enter the marketplace of your own country? Let's say you are living in Congo now. What do you think would be the best market entry strategy? I am in Japan. What do you think we can do together for you to start your local business there to expand to Japan? And I could be your corporate partner. That would mean we can direct export. Or you can expect people to come to visit Congo and buy from you. That will be indirect exporting. If you think also that maybe we can take it to the next level, some sort of strategic alliance, we can come together and become one company. That is strategic alliance. But still, we might not have like bonds together. We might not have contracts together, just based on faith, or based on, you know, just word of mouth. Or we can do better. We can go into a joint venture, which will come up with contracts, kind of commitment, marriage. Or you can be like, oh, you know what? I'm actually not very comfortable trying new things. I'm not very much entrepreneurial or something like this. What I think I will do is just to go and buy a new business. You can get into acquisition, come to Japan and buy a new business. Or you can come to Japan and start your own thing afresh, which is greenfield development. Or you can even go further, right? What else can you do, man? What do you think is the best way for you, the best market entry strategy? Think about it and drop your comment. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. That was your boy, the Master Teacher Serene. It was a pleasure. Please support the channel and let's keep on learning some more. The next video will be about the market strategies framework, or how to analyze the best market entry strategy. What are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves so that we can pick up on the best market entry strategies, the risk exposure, the all those in and out sort of questions that we need to answer before we can choose a market entry strategy. Thank you for watching. Once again, goodbye for now.